But earlier I went live and I was talking about how lately in my life I've just been craving a little bit more discipline and a little bit more variety. So I want to shake things up. And I always say you don't have to take action when it comes to manifesting. However, you are allowed to take action because you're ultimately living your life. You're not sitting, with your hands tied behind your back and just like not enjoying the fun pleasures of life. So starting on September 1st, I'm going to do like a little challenge where I push myself and you can come join me. So I do have a coaching community that you can join in the month of September, where you can join whatever you can join free for a week for 7 days. And we're going to manifest all of the things. We're going to manifest our dreams. We're going to pursue hobbies that maybe we've been interested in but haven't really taken any real steps to experience them. Maybe it's needlepoint for me. That's like a recent hobby. Or maybe it's cooking healthy meals for your family. Maybe it's getting into physical shape. So, whatever it is that you're desiring, you can lock in. So, it's like a 21-day lock in. We'll be accountable. We'll talk to one another and really start to um, achieve our dreams, achieve our desires, our goals. So, that's the point of the lock in. My Janae, hello, how are you? Gorgeous, beautiful, amazing friend. How are you doing? What's new with you? I usually go live on the other platform. I was saying I'm going live on here today because I'm giving it a try since I'm used to going live on the other one. So, how is everybody doing? So, I was saying September 1st, we're going to start a lock in challenge. You can pick a goal, you can pick 5 goals, you can pick 3 goals, you can pick 2 goals, whatever it is that you want, and then start to embody that version of you. How would you think? How would you act? And how would you feel if you knew that that desire was already yours? If you knew that you were already that version of yourself? If you knew that you had the money? If you knew that you had the dream body? If you knew that you had the love, the relationship, whatever it is. So it's about embodying the identity and then taking some inspired action from that state, because remember, it's identity first. So identity is what creates, right? So you're thinking thoughts all day long, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Your brain is an anticipation machine. It doesn't turn off. And so you get to select your thoughts. You don't have to believe every single one, right? You don't have to buy into that story. If you have a thought of like, oh my gosh, like what if this car hits me? That doesn't mean you're automatically manifesting that, right? That's an intrusive thought. It just comes in. So when the thought comes in of, I'm never going to have enough money, you can say, no, that's not me. That's not my end. I don't select that. And I know that I'm abundant. And I know that I'm a money magnet, a money mogul, a money making machine. And you get to choose differently. So this is an exercise of discipline. It's about locking in despite motivation, right? Because you can't always rely on motivation. So this is really an accountability challenge. So it's 21 days. It's inside my group. You can join my group free for a week if you'd like. And yeah, test it out. And there's memberships starting out as low as $33. So I would love to have you. So let's see. My Janae said exploring LA. I love it. Let's lock in. Yes, I love it. Beautiful. That's amazing. I'd love to have you. How are you? You said yes, money magnet. Yes. Do you guys want to do a little rampage of affirmations? We can do that. I always do that on the other platform and people love it. It's so weird being on IG because it's so quiet over here. Like if you guys come join on the other one, I usually have around like, I don't know, 70 people, upwards of, the other day I had 468 or something like that. So it's a good time over there as well. So make sure you're following me on all the platforms. But let's do a little affirmation rampage. So I love to say, isn't it wonderful? The reason why is because it bypasses doubt in your mind. You're framing it as a question. So it's kind of like you're coming from a place of curiosity. So your brain doesn't fight you on the affirmation. So I always like to say, isn't it wonderful that I'm captivating, unique, special, and one of a kind? Isn't it wonderful that I'm worthy and deserving of love? Isn't it wonderful that I'm happy, healthy, healed, and free? Isn't it wonderful that things are always aligning for me? Isn't it wonderful that things are always working out for me? Isn't it wonderful that I always get what I want? Isn't it wonderful that I have my dream body? Isn't it wonderful that I have beautiful friendships? Isn't it wonderful that I have a loving and supportive community? Isn't it wonderful that I'm a money magnet? I'm a money mogul. I'm a money making machine. Isn't it wonderful that my mind is worth millions? Isn't it wonderful that I have $1 million ideas? Isn't it wonderful that money comes to me out of the blue? Isn't it wonderful that money comes to me out of thin air? Isn't it wonderful that I'm always chosen? Isn't it wonderful that I'm everyone's favorite? Isn't it wonderful that life is rigged in my favor? Isn't it wonderful that I have a banging body? Isn't it wonderful that I have a snatch waist? Isn't it wonderful that I always get elite treatment? Isn't it wonderful that I always get upgraded? Isn't it wonderful that I always get everything that my heart desires? Isn't it wonderful that I'm a master manifester? Isn't it wonderful that I'm reverse aging? Isn't it wonderful that everything I eat makes me the perfect size? Isn't it wonderful that I have the perfect smile? Isn't it wonderful that I have a great sense of humor? Isn't it wonderful that life gets to be easy and effortless? Isn't it wonderful that I am abundance itself? Isn't it wonderful that I am rich? Isn't it wonderful that money is obsessed with me? Isn't it wonderful that I am irresistible? I am irreplaceable and that there's no one like me? Isn't it wonderful that I am one of one? Isn't it wonderful that I'm a masterpiece? Isn't it wonderful that there's no one like me? Isn't it wonderful that I'm naturally fit and in shape? Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? So I always like to celebrate the wonders of your life. When you do that, life becomes a gift and you will be unwrapping presents for the rest of your days. So anyways, join my community where I do rampages like that. I have challenges and then coaching calls every single Tuesday at 8 p.m. EST. But as far as it goes now, drop the questions that you have in the chat. My Janae said, what's your other platform? I will follow you over there as well. Oh, thank you. It is TikTok. So I'm over there on TikTok. I love TikTok. So yeah, I usually go live over there and it's a lot more active. My Janae said, that just fed my spirit. Record it so I can replay those affirmations. Yes, beautiful. I love it. Yes, I'll try. Sometimes IG is a little weird. I don't go on this, so I never know how to save it. So I'll try. But I'm so glad that uplifted you. So yes, I do those a lot over there on the other platform. I keep saying other platform because IG is listening and I don't think it likes when you say the other one. But yeah, so in September, we're going to lock in, we're going to manifest our desires, we're going to go all in, we're going to be delusional, and we're going to live the life of our dreams. So bet on you, take a chance on you, and love on you, right? I always say the only limitation is the one that you place on yourself. So manifesting is not something new that you just learned. It's not something that you pick up and put down. You are manifesting all of the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You are manifesting the good, the bad, the favorable, the unfavorable, the positive, the negative, right? If you say every single day that you shouldn't be eating, a honey bun or a cinnamon bun or whatever it is for breakfast and that it goes straight to your thighs, that's an affirmation, right? If you look in the mirror and you say, my hair looks like it's a mess, that's an affirmation. If you say, I always sit at traffic, whenever I leave the house at 9, you're commanding that in your reality. You're anticipating it, you're thinking it, and then you experience it. So you are manifesting all of the time. So if you know that your thoughts become things, start to think in your favor. That is your only job, is to think in your favor. My Janae said, what is your name over there? It's the same name across all the platforms. So I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, as well as Threads and Facebook, and it's The Confidence Lab XO everywhere. I think it's the same everywhere except for Facebook. Facebook, it might be Brooke Alexandra, but yeah. So I teach the law of assumption. If you guys are new to that, it's essentially that you're creating your reality. You are the creator, you're the orchestrator, you're the selector, you're the chooser. So everything in your world is an experience. And it's through your thoughts, through your awareness, and through your assumptions, and through your beliefs. So I always say your personality creates your personal reality. What does that mean? It means your thoughts become beliefs, and your beliefs are just thoughts that you've surrendered to, you've agreed with. And so if you've agreed that you're the loser in your story and not the main character, then that's what you'll experience. If you've agreed with your reality when you see something unfavorable and you're letting it validate who you are, then you're giving it permission to be, that. And so you don't want to create the negative. You want to create more of the positive. So it's up to you. You're the one that's in control. You have this thing called free will. So exercise your free will and think in your favor from moment to moment to moment. And then watch your world reflect it back to you. And I know I use the word reflect a lot on IG. It might be, if you guys are new, it might be foreign to you, but essentially your world is a mirror of your consciousness, of your state. So you always want to be thinking from the consciousness of the solution and not the consciousness of the problem. So if you're thinking from the consciousness of the problem and you are in victim mode, if you're in lack and in scarcity, you're going to create and experience more of that. Your world is a reflection of that. If you're saying that you're unlucky, that things don't work out for you, that you can't get past the third date, that men cheat, that men are dogs, then guess what? You will call in more experience where people cheat on you, they don't commit to you, and you're in situationship after situationship after situationship. However, if you tell yourself a more empowering story of, I'm irresistible, I'm irreplaceable, there's no one like me, everybody loves me, and I'm their one and only, then guess what? Your world will reflect that back to you. Everything is a reflection of your self-concept. Your self-concept is your identity. So start to tell a new story. Tell a story that's more favorable, that's more loving, that's more caring, that's more kind, and that's more compassionate. Because ultimately, you're the decider, you're the chooser, you're the selector. So make your world a good place to be. My Janae said, love it, Brooke. You are a wealth of knowledge. Thanks for being a reminder. I am the co-creator of my reality. Beautiful. Yes, I love it. Absolutely. Amazing. Thank you so much for all the hearts, and thank you so much for hanging out with me. I just wanted to come on. I know I talk really fast because I usually have a lot of people on. So I'm answering a lot of questions, but it is slower here, so I could go slower. So if you guys have questions, drop them in the chat or send me a DM. And then remember to join my community. I just switched over to school. So I think there's 15 of you that still need to switch over to school. But we were on Facebook and I switched to school like a week or two ago, just because it's a little bit more user friendly. So you can check the link in my bio. You can join free for a week. I would love to have you. And yeah, we have calls every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Challenges, all of the things. So, yeah, with that being said, I'm probably going to sign off. So remember that you're God, your source, your awareness, your infinite intelligence, and that all possibilities exist. So don't play small. You get to have it all. Nothing is off limits. The only limitation is the one that you put on yourself. So don't do that. Go big, be delusional, and live your greatest story. So take care, and I will see you all later. Bye.